So here's the famous speech. As he comes in, he says, I know that virtue be in you, Brutus, as well as I do know your outward favor. Well, honor is the subject of my story. I cannot, sorry, again. I cannot tell what you and other men think of this life, but for my single self, I had as lief not be as live to be in awe of such a thing as I myself. I was born free as Caesar, so were you. We both have fed as well, and we can both endure the winter's cold as well as he. For once, upon a raw and gusty day, the troubled Tiber chafing with her shores, Caesar said to me, Darest thou, Cassius, now leap in with me into this angry flood and swim to yonder point? Upon the word, accoutred as I was, I plunged in and bade him follow. So indeed he did. The torrent roared, and we did buffet it with lusty sinews, throwing it aside and stemming it with hearts of controversy. But ere we could arrive the point proposed, Caesar cried, Help me, Cassius, or I sink. He's saying, I've seen the nakedness of Caesar, right? I've seen that he is a man because he sank and he needed my help. I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, remember Aeneas in Troy, right, fleeing the burning city? I, as Aeneas, our great ancestor, did from the flames of Troy upon his shoulder the old Anchises bear. So from the waves of Tiber did I the tired Caesar. And this man is now become a god, and Cassius is a wretched creature, and must bend his body, if Caesar carelessly but gnawed on him. He had a fever when he was in Spain, and when the fit was on him, I did mark how he did shake. 'Tis true, this god did shake. What a line. This God did shake, right? He's saying this is a man, right? And we are all men. We are made, he wouldn't have quite put it this way, but we are created equal, right? That we are entitled to equality as Roman citizens, right? And we are free in this republic. And yet, right, this man now is hailed as a god, and I am sort of shrunken in his estimation, even though he's a kind of sickly guy. We talked about how he's got, epilepsy or strokes, right? So he's basically saying, this person's just a man, right? He's just like you and me. I see through all of this. The emperor has no clothes. His coward lips did from their color fly, and that same eye whose bend doth all the world did lose his luster. I did hear him groan, I and that tongue of his that bade the Romans mark him and write his speeches in their books. Alas, it cried, give me some drink, Titinius, as a sick girl. You gods, it doth amaze me. A man of such feeble temper should so get the start of the majestic world and bear the palm alone. And then Brutus, here's another shout, right? Another general shout. I do believe that these applauses are for some new honors that are heaped on Caesar. Why, man, he doth bestride the narrow world like a colossus, and we petty men walk under his huge legs and peep about to find ourselves dishonorable graves. Men at some time are masters of their fates. The fault, dear Brutus, is not in our stars, but in ourselves that we are underlings, right? So this is Cassius' manifesto. It's very stirring, right? We are men, right? Men are, equal and essentially, and it's possible for us to fight against tyranny. It's possible for us to make choices. It's not written in the stars that this man is somehow born to rule over us. I've seen him get sick. I've seen him, I've seen him drown and fall. I've seen him do all sorts of human things, right? And so he's saying, and you, Brutus, right, are also a man. And in fact, your destiny is as great as his, if you will only take it up. So it's dramatizing, right, these very questions of free will and determinism, great man theory of history, right? I love that we saw it, we talked about it in this sort of philosophical way in the history last week, and now we see it just on stage, adding this incredible tension to the drama. And so this is, is it destiny, or is it something that can be averted? Eventually, they persuade Brutus that it can be averted, that he's the man to avert it, and they hatch a conspiracy to waylay him and kill him. And this is where Caesar gets from the soothsayer this famous warning: "Beware the Ides of March, March 15th." Right?